night, 9 Eastern.
You want controversy? You came to the right place. There is a new coloring book on the market, and it doesn't feature cute animals or cartoon characters. Listen to this. It is showing the Twin Towers burning and Navy SEALs shooting Osama bin Laden. What the heck's going on here? Is it too much? Well, Wayne Bell doesn't think so. His company just published We Shall Never Forget 9/11, the Kids' Book of Freedom, and it's for ages 7 and up. Now, Bell says this coloring book tells the story of the facts surrounding 9/11 and that it doesn't shy away from the truth. Wayne Bell is here with us tonight. He is the publisher of really big coloring books, and he also authored the Kids' Book of Freedom. Wayne, welcome. And would you please explain why you felt compelled to publish a coloring book about the 9/11 tragedy?
Hi, Chris. Thank you very much for having me. What compelled us to publish this book is basically our readership. Our company publishes coloring books on just about every slice of America that you could possibly think of. And on one of our web pages, coloringbook.com, we have a lot of people that go to the search engine there and they type in things they're searching for, be it a zoo book, an ABC book, or a presidential Barack Obama coloring book. It just, you know, people search what they're looking for. And over the years, we have followed people. And at certain events, people, they type in 9/11, they type in We Shall Never Forget, they type things into our search engines. And so when we watch that and follow it throughout the country, it kind of gives us an idea of what we think will sell to the country. And so we came out with the We Shall Never Forget coloring book, not taking a position left or right. We're not taking any position at all in this book. We're simply trying to tell the facts as they lay. And it basically covers a 10-year history of the war on terror, beginning with the 9/11 attack on the Twin Towers, ending with Osama bin Laden being shot in his home in Pakistan. And so there's also
Wayne,
another part of the book.
I have to tell you, Wayne, I take a little bit of umbrage with the subject matter of the coloring book. Isn't coloring time for kids supposed to be a happy time? Why such a controversial issue as the 9/11
I'll answer your
tragedy?
question for you. I'll answer that question. I can tell you right now that the coloring book is rated PG, which means parental guidance. I mean, the coloring book's designed basically for children of the coloring age, which can be anywhere from 2 to 10 or 12 years old. And what this book does is it's designed as a tool based on parents. I mean, based on people that we talk to. It's designed as a tool to help teach children what 9/11 is about. I know that children have watched for years the graphic images on TV. Sometimes kids, according to parents, they think that, you know, those things are going on right now. I know that, you know, the coloring book is not that graphic. There's no, like, you know, really nasty or, you know, really bad pictures in the book, but it is very factual, and it doesn't shy away from the truth. And we asked people what they wanted in the book prior to printing of the book, and they told us. And people love this book around the country. I mean, people are buying
Wayne,
it.
this is certainly bringing up a lot of controversy because of the subject matter. I know it's not extremely graphic, but it does show images of Osama bin Laden being shot and also the towers on fire. Some people might have a problem with that. And right now, Wayne, we're going to be...
I do.
And we're going to give you a chance to defend yourself too, Wayne, and we'll be joined by a representative of the Council on American Islamic Relations. That's coming up next, so please stay with us. He's called this coloring book disgusting. Well, as our nation approaches the 10th anniversary of the 9/11 tragedy, some are calling into the question the appropriateness of a new coloring book about the attacks and about the war on terror. We Shall Never Forget 9/11, the Kids' Book of Freedom, was published this month and has already sold out on Amazon.com. Wow. The book is factual in its portrayal of the events surrounding 9/11, pointing out that the attacks were masterminded by radical Muslim extremists, but some Muslim organizations are upset by this, saying it portrays all Muslims as radicals. Is this exploitive or is it educational? Well, back with us to talk about this is Wayne Bell, the author of the Kids' Book of Freedom. Wayne, thanks a lot for sticking around. And on the phone, we have Maureen Santora. Her son was the youngest firefighter to die in the World Trade Center tragedy. And Michigan's executive director of the Council on American Islamic Relations, Daoud Walid, joins us. Daoud, you've called this coloring book disgusting. Why is that?
Well, we do advocate for responsible education for young people in terms of the national tragedy of 9/11. However, the problem that we have is in regards to the caricatures in this book, and not just Osama bin Laden, but other caricatures of Muslims in this book, as well as the language, that every single time that Muslim and Islam is used in conjunction with radical, extremists, and terrorists. And given the fact that this is a very emotional and sensitive topic, and that there were Muslims who were victims in 9/11 also, and there were Muslims who were victims also who were first responders, we think it would have been more responsible if the language would not have been as such that every time Muslim was used as radical, extremists, and terrorists, and that all of these caricatures can paint into the mind of a young person that perhaps all Muslims may be somewhat responsible for 9/11, or that Muslims themselves might be an enemy or a fifth column within the United States of America.
So, Daoud, your contention with the coloring book is that it doesn't make a clear enough distinction between Muslim radicals and Muslims in general. Wayne, how do you respond to what Daoud is saying here?
Chris, what we're saying in the book is very simple. We're talking about the events in a 12-hour period on 9/11 in this book. We don't say anything about the Muslim faith. We don't say anything about Muslim people. We're talking about the 19 hijackers that came over here and murdered thousands of people. I don't know Mr. Waloud. I'm sure he's a lovely gentleman, but I also know that he released a video last night. He held this book up on 9/11 and called these icons disgusting. He calls the book disgusting. I can understand his point. I would be disgusted too, but he should call the people in the book, the 19 terrorists, Osama bin Laden, he should call him disgusting. This is history. It's absolutely factual. That's what this book is about. And then it talks about the freedoms in America. This book is not portraying any group of people. This book is not portraying Muslims in a negative light at all. That is incorrect. This book is about 19 terrorist hijackers that came over here under the leadership of a devil worshiper, Osama bin Laden, who come over here and murdered our people. That's what this book is about. And for someone from that organization to get on TV and call this disgusting, it's terrible. I think Waloud...
No, hang
on a second. Wait, let's let Daoud get in here. Daoud, what's your reaction to this, first of all? And isn't it important... Excuse me, guys. Excuse me for 1 second, Daoud. Isn't it important for children to be educated about the facts of 9/11? Wayne is simply saying this is a coloring book about the facts, not painting all Muslims as responsible.
We don't even mention the Muslim faith or the Muslim people at all. We don't even mention
Daoud,
the
what's your
Muslim
reaction
faith
to that?
or the Muslim people.
Muslim and Islam is mentioned in the text all throughout that book. For anyone who's looked through the book,
when it comes to the hijackers and their background.
No. Hold on. I showed you respect.
Now, Wayne, hang on. Let Daoud respond.
Hold on. I showed you your respect. Now show me mine.
Yes, sir.
Islam and Muslim is mentioned.
Well, sir, when you disrespect the front cover of this book,
Wayne, hang on a second. Let Daoud make his point, please.
Every single time Islam and Muslim is mentioned in that book, for the most part, radical, extremists, and terrorists is used in conjunction along with other pictures. Now, he has a picture of victims who are grieving around the next page with the portrayed terrorists, a woman with their cross in her neck. Now, as a minority, he may not be able to understand, since he's not a minority, in regards to the effect that this can have as far as portraying. Yes, it does. If we look at coloring books in the past, if we look at coloring books in the past that portrayed minorities, such as coloring books going back to Japanese Americans and even Dr. Seuss, we can see times in which minorities...
nothing to do
No.
Hey, hang on, guys. Hang on 1 second. Let's try to stay on topic here. Daoud, if you could put those papers down. We're not talking about the portrayal of minorities in coloring books. We're talking about this book in particular. And right now, I want to talk about the human element of this. And we're going to bring in Maureen Santora, whose son was the youngest firefighter who gave his life on 9/11. Maureen, when you see a book like this, do you feel that it helps people remember what happened, or is it inflammatory? Do we have Maureen on the phone? I guess we might have lost her. Well, guys, I don't want to make this a contentious situation between you guys.
Chris,
I don't want to turn this into a battle between. Excuse me? Wayne, go ahead.
This is not a battle. Chris, I want to show you something that I haven't showed anyone outside our company. Prior to making this book, our company wrote a letter to CAIR International Headquarters in Washington, D.C., and to to the Reverend Louis Farrakhan in Chicago at the Nation of Islam, we ask for people's support in this book. We ask for people to participate, of the Islamic and the Muslim faith, to participate. Our message is in a letter, and it says, this is our request, with peace, understanding, and faith, that someday we will all respect each other and have mutual respect for all faiths and all religions, and one person at a time can change the world. Just as terror activity begins with one man, one person, so shall it can end with one man, one person. We ask for
Well, you know, I mean, Wayne, obviously you've touched on a very hot button issue here. There is no right or wrong to this situation. You feel strongly, Daoud feels very strongly. And unfortunately, to tell you this, Wayne, we had a lot of controversy here at the show as to, would you buy this book for your child? We even put up a poll question on our website tonight asking, would you buy your child a 9/11 coloring book? And unfortunately for you, Wayne, 16% of you said yes, meaning an overwhelming 84% of you said no. Now, considering the fact that it's sold out on Amazon, are you surprised by those results, Wayne?
No, Chris, because ABC did a poll across America. It's right here. I printed it off at 3 o'clock, where 67% of the respondents, beginning in Detroit, Michigan, it's on ABC WXYZ right now, 67% of the respondents love this book. And this went to Detroit.
Well, Wayne, obviously those are conflicting polls. We can only go on the results that we have, not the polls you have. Excuse me one second, guys. Excuse me. We can't keep talking over each other. I want to bring back in Maureen Santoro. We have her back on the line. Maureen, thank you so much for joining us. Your son gave his life on 9/11 as a firefighter in New York. And when you see a coloring book like this, does it help people remember, or is it inflammatory in your opinion?
Well, what I object to is the targeted age for this coloring book. If you are a high school senior or a junior or a college student and you read this coloring book, you have enough background information in your history this book.
Well, Maureen, you did say it is important to educate children on the topic of 9/11. At what age do you think that kids should start learning about the facts of 9/11?
Well, I was an educator for a long time, and I wrote 3 children's books, specifically for elementary school children. Picture books describing the event, to all of us. Children need to know that their parents going to work are going to be safe and they're going to be coming home. They need to know those things. And after 9/11, there were many, many school children who were very afraid that their parents were not going to come back. So we need to reassure children. We need to let them know that hatred is a terrible thing. We need to tell children that they will be loved regardless of whether or not they're perfect. But we do not need to tell them in graphic detail about the events of September 11th until they are able to absorb those graphic details.
Well, Maureen Santoro, I want to thank you very much for your unique insight on this topic, and I want to thank all of my guests, Wayne and Daoud. And I'm Chris Jacobs from Entertainment Tonight. I'm sitting in for Dr. Drew.